Alrighty, we should be live. Let me just double check here. Looks like we're good to go. What's up, everybody? A little late getting started. I fell a little bit behind. I don't even know what happened. It was like the time came and went, and there we have it. Everybody good though? How's everybody feeling? This has been crazy, folks. I'm about to cross over 15,000 subscribers. How crazy is that? Unbelievable. I mean, thank you guys so much. You guys are honestly the best. You guys, I don't even know what else to say. If you had told me that, one day I was going to be on YouTube and I would have 15,000 people that support me in the efforts that I try to put forth into changing people's lives for the better, I would have told you were nuts. And, me 3 years ago, this wasn't something that I did. I wasn't that person. So, and you guys have, been the people that have motivated me to keep going and to really kind of show me that, I've got something, that a value that I can give to the world. So I really appreciate you. And it's crazy to say the world too, right? I mean, I connect with people from all over the globe, and it's pretty wild when you think about stuff like that. So thank you guys so much. Nevertheless, welcome to Stock Watch Sunday, and welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and I've made it my mission to basically help you own the chaos that is the stock market. It's crazy and chaotic, and no more evident than it has been over the last several months. And the name of this channel is finally really kind of come into its own. No pun intended. So it's been pretty amazing. So what we would do here is called Stock Watch Sunday. For those of you who don't know, if you're visiting for the first time, first of all, welcome. So happy to have you here. But I go over the stocks that I'm watching throughout the entire week, and it takes place every night on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it's basically an opportunity for us to connect. And just kind of I'll give you my ideas, you guys can give me yours, and we'll get into that in just a second. Yeah, that's pretty much what Stock Watch Sunday is. So if you guys get value out of today's video, hopefully I will receive a thumbs up from you folks. I certainly would appreciate the added support. And if you're visiting for the first time, hopefully I also earn a subscription from you as well. So let's go ahead and welcome some folks here. And let me go ahead and start off by saying welcome, Chuck. What's going on, Chuck? What's up, Bob? What's up, Jake? What's up? Let's see here. We got King Bradicus. Good to see you. What's up, Matthew Schaefer? Good to see you, man. Happy to have you. What's up, Joe? Thanks, brother. Appreciate the congrats. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been pretty awesome. So here's the thing. It's primetime Jesus, especially when I pause the Ozark show for Stock Watch Sunday. That's awesome. Yeah, man, I gotta get on to the Ozark. I haven't started season 3. I've seen the first 2. So sold all of American Airlines. We're gonna get into that in just a second. And actually, we're gonna talk about the Warren Buffett Berkshire Hathaway annual stockholders meeting. I'm gonna give you my take on that, and also I will talk about when I was right, when I was wrong about last Stock Watch Sunday. So this is a new segment that I'm starting as well. So stay tuned for that. I basically go over the things that I was right about as far as the stock market is concerned on earnings or how the stock was going to move that week, and where I was wrong. I think that it's appropriate to admit, when you got it wrong, just because it shows that I'm human. And I think that is just the nature of the beast when it comes to the stock market. Nobody ever actually gets it right. And so I think that it's important that people really understand that. So we'll get into that in just a sec. But first, let's talk about the airline stocks for a second. So, guys, Warren Buffett sold all of his airline stocks. Can you believe it? What are we going to do? Should we just sell it all? Is the world going to end, or all the planes going to start crashing? Guys.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
Who cares? Who cares what Warren Buffett does? I don't know if it's going to happen today, tomorrow, whatever, but the airlines will be back. And, everybody loves to lose their mind when Warren Buffett does this or that. And the thing of it is that Warren's worth $174 billion. So, and you're not, and I'm not. So we have to trade and invest differently. And I think that it's important to understand that. I think that, it also depends on your outlook. And there's been a lot of things that Warren's done. It's been questionable. It's been right or wrong. He's not perfect either. And so it's important to, I think, understand this. So let's get into it. If you didn't hear, he sold all of his positions in American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta, and Southwest, calling these investments an understandable mistake. I don't know about, probably the entries that he made. Yeah, and we'll get into that in a second. But he also stated the world has changed for the airlines. And he has nothing but good things to say about the CEOs of these airlines. But for me, I got to say it's a strange move at this point. I mean, it's down this far. I mean, I can understand that it could go lower, and it more than likely will before it starts to go back up again. And I mentioned this in previous videos about airline stocks, and there's going to be a lot of volatility when it comes to these. Some other questionable calls here, though, that I have to say, he bought Delta and American Airlines, I want to say about $45 million worth the last week in February, and then it tanked another 50%. That's a real big head scratcher for me. And I actually said that when he did that, when he bought that much of Delta and American Airlines back in the end of February, we hadn't begun to start crashing yet. And I was really scratching my head over that. But anyways, here's some other things that has made me scratch my head about Berkshire Hathaway and stuff like that. Some other questionable calls here. The EV company, BYD, that he bought, the Chinese company, that was an acceptable electric vehicle company to buy for him, and it went up 500%. So obviously, rightfully so, a great investment. But then he doesn't want anything to do with Tesla at all. So if you're going to buy a speculative stock like BYD, why wouldn't you go and buy an American company in Tesla? And I understand Elon has been a little off the handle, and that is not what Warren does. But that's one questionable call that I've always had. And he refused to buy Tesla down at $200. Obviously, you want to buy it up here. But anyways, he's just very adamant about not getting the Tesla. And I always kind of wondered why that was. It was cool to buy Occidental Petroleum, and which, by the way, he also unloaded. I don't know if anybody saw that, but he's cool with buying oil stocks when demand was getting crushed. So again, some questionable calls here. Here's the final question. One of his biggest rules was that he doesn't want to invest in companies that are relying on the government or taking government bailouts and that sort of thing. But tell me why he owns 75 million shares of General Motors. 75 million shares of General Motors. Let that sink in about how much money that is. I can tell you how much it is. It is $1.5 billion worth right now of GM. And so it just makes me scratch my head. And look, and I'll get on this. I'll get off my soapbox in a second. And I'll say this. I look up to Warren Buffett. He is somebody to look up for. Arguably the greatest of all time as far as investing is concerned. Probably not even arguably. He probably just is. I don't think there's any question. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't make mistakes. And he admitted that over the annual stockholders meeting. But it doesn't mean that you should be doing everything that Warren Buffett does. And so, in my opinion, I think that the airliners will come back at this price. I still think that it's worth investing in. And again, it depends on what your time horizons are. Are you looking for this to turn around next year? Are you looking for a 2-year return? What's that look like? And so I've already given you some of my top stocks as far as airliners are concerned. I still really like Southwest, and I like Delta. Those are the two I really like. I like Delta because it's a global company, and they have arguably the best balance sheet out of all of the airliners. And I think they will do well, despite obviously airlines are down. There's nothing good about the airlines right now. Let's get that out of the way. But I think if we look 1-2 years down the road, and if you're looking to invest in something, especially if you're a millennial or younger, then I think you'll be just fine. So I like Southwest because they have a really good balance sheet. They have the least amount of debt out of anybody, but they're not global. So that, that's, I don't want to say it's a strike against them, but you look at something like Delta compared to Southwest, it's a much larger company. So I like those two. And if you were buying into something like that and holding at these prices, could they go lower? Absolutely. But as I've said before, there's going to be a roller coaster of volatility with these stocks until everybody gets back to work and starts to travel again. So, what's the recovery look like? Even Warren said that he doesn't know what stocks will do between now and the next 6 months because nobody does. But I think that if you're looking for opportunities for long-term investments, then for somebody who has a much longer time horizon, somebody like myself or maybe even you, if you're my age, younger, or maybe even your 40s, I would say if you're 50s, 60s, it probably doesn't make sense to get into something like Delta because you just don't know where it's going to go. But if you're younger and you have some time to work with, that time is on your side, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just wanted to give perspective because everybody's losing their mind because Warren Buffett sold all the airline stocks. But some of that just doesn't make sense, like GM. How does GM make sense? I don't know. I don't get it. Makes no sense to me. Buffett's in the fundamental value. Airlines have the worst outlook for the next 2 years. And I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree. But if he's in it for the long haul, and if it's one of his rules is that stay away from government bailouts, then why buy up GM? He bought up GM back in 08, right after 08, I should say, too. He's been in it a long time. So just my 2 cents, folks. Just my 2 cents. Let's go ahead and look at some of the comments here. Just looking through. Sell airlines. If you didn't sell airlines before Friday, I might want to just wait. I'm sure it'll crash. Look, there's no question that there's going to be a huge crash. As far as airlines are concerned, and really overall, I would say the market probably doesn't do well this whole entire week. It needs to pull back. The market went crazy. I mean, we were almost back to, our peak highs as far as the market was concerned. We needed this pullback. It was no question that was going to happen. Bob, appreciate the donation, man. Thanks for the support and the love. Seen a lot of people congratulate me on the 15K. So actually, sounds to me like you're losing money. I'm really not, but okay. Whatever, man. Let's see here. Appreciate your input. Appreciate you responding. Yeah, I do respond to all the comments. So if you do comment on any of my videos, I do, respond to all of them. So feel free to leave, even the haters. It's all good. I need the haters too. Keeps me grounded. So on to where I was right and where I was wrong. So last Sunday, we went over 20 stocks. This Sunday, we're going to go over 5 as far as the earnings are concerned. I think I went a little crazy. Man, after that stock watch Sunday last week, I was out of breath. I needed like a gallon of water. My mouth was dry. I was going crazy. So after last week, though, I'm going to go over the 4 stocks. So I'm not going to go over all 20, obviously. So the 4 stocks that I was right or wrong on. 3M. It ran in the earnings just like I said it would, and I said it probably would end up beating earnings. Turns out it did. But I also mentioned that the rest of the company is crap. The reason that people were buying into the earnings on 3M was because of the face masks. They were selling them out. They were selling out of them like crazy. And that was really the only real reason the revenues were up so much. And that was their main revenue driver was face masks. So I said that the rest of the company was not going to be good. And I looked for this to tank after the earnings report. Sure enough, it did. Actually, if you ask anybody in the mentorship, I actually ended up shorting 3M, made some pretty decent money on that. And so was right about that one. Amazon was also right about, ran into earnings and then it fell. They actually missed earnings, which I was actually wrong about. So I guess, I was right and wrong on Amazon. But the reaction was the same. They missed earnings. And also, if you guys haven't seen, Jeff Bezos announced that he's spending the entire second quarter profits on fighting the Rona. Whether you agree with that or not, it's not going to positively impact the stock. And so investors have responded accordingly, and I'm sure they will continue to respond. The stock dropped about $150 a share. I think it continues to drop this week, but nevertheless, I was right about that. Tesla, oh boy. So I was right about Tesla. I knew they were going to beat earnings, and I knew it was going to tank because it was too high. And apparently Elon Musk agreed. So on Friday, if you guys didn't catch Friday's video, I talked about Elon Musk tweeting out that the stock price was too high. It tanks 10% after that. After it already dropped $100, he then comes out with that tweet, drops another $100. So I was right about that. Did not expect Elon to agree. So finally, I was actually super wrong. This is my worst trade was on AMD, and AMD, they beat earnings like I said they would. I expected a sell-off and a similar move to what happened with Intel. Intel also beat earnings, but then rose back up because people felt as if demand was still there, the company was still looking good, and AMD, in my opinion, still looks good. The numbers on their earnings report were fantastic. This was a huge head scratcher to me. I stayed in it too long. I was super red on this one. Worst trade I made of the week, hands down. And so, yeah, AMD was terrible. I was super wrong about that, and it fell below $50 a share. Is what it is. Sometimes you're right about these things, and sometimes you're wrong. And so that's why I wanted to do that segment, tell you guys that I was definitely wrong a lot of things. K Bagetto, sarcasm gets lost. It does get lost on me. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm a literal person. Sorry, man. It's all love. It's all love. So worst trade to date was AMD. Yeah, and I don't think that I was alone in that. So Matthew Schaefer, I don't know. I might have been close to my worst trade. It's this year was on AMD. So yeah, that was a tough one, and it's still scratching my head. I'm still really confused by it, and I know that there was reports on demand going down for second quarter and stuff like that. But with record amount of sales being as far as computers are concerned. And just the demand still being there because people are still working from home, there was a lot of it that just made sense for this to continue to go up, and it just didn't. So it is what it is. All right. So AMD giveth and AMD taketh. Yeah, that's for sure. So where are we at right now? How many people we got in here? Were we looking good? We were rocking last week. Yeah, we are rocking this week too. 143 people. How many likes we got? Let's get those thumbs up. If you guys are getting value out of today's video, I certainly would appreciate it. We're also going to, again, so if you guys want to hang around, not only will I allow you to call in and ask me about anything, stock related, of course, I will also be doing this, and I'm just going to open this up for you guys. I wanted to do something special for my 15,000 whatever, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just let you guys kind of pick on me a little bit, and I don't know, roast me a little bit. So I thought it would be appropriate, and maybe this is probably more geared towards my long-term followers, or maybe not. There might be something that you might want to show me or share with me, one of your favorite moments, or most hilarious or embarrassing moments. So if you guys want to share in the chat an old video of mine over the last 3 years that you would like to share, I'll pick somebody at random, and we'll watch maybe 30 seconds of it together, and then you can see the horror on my face as I, embarrass myself. So we could do that if you guys want to, but we don't have to. It's not a big thing. But I thought maybe that'd be something fun. So we can save that for the end of the video. Also, like I said, if you guys want to call in, I'll give you the number in just a few moments before I go over these after I go over these top 5, and we'll get on to it. So. First one is going to be, and these are all going to be earnings plays. Disney is the first one that I'm looking at this week. There's a ton of earnings, guys, and I'm not going to go over them all like I did last week, just because I felt it was too much, and I think I kind of lost some people as a result of that. So I was going to I'm going to go over my top 5. If there's any particular stocks that you would like to see as far as earnings are concerned, I'll let you guys ask so you guys can do that if I didn't go over one that you wanted me to. So let's go over Disney. So Disney Tuesday after hours, and I'll go ahead and pull this up actually on WeTrade HQ. So Disney after hours has earnings. Their expected earnings per share is at 83 cents. I think they actually missed that for obvious reasons. So if you look at look for this to get ugly after earnings, but I still like this long term. So depending on how you're planning on trading Disney, if you're thinking that this is going to go up after earnings, I would seriously caution against that. I still like I said, still like this long term, because once they open back up, I think Disney's just going to, do very well. But their parks have been closed down. The movies are closed, so nobody's going and watching their movies, at least at a theater. Also, there isn't any sports to watch on ESPN, which is they own ESPN. Now, you can make the argument that The Last Dance has been getting a lot of views, which, by the way, if you are a Michael Jordan fan or a fan of sports in general, man, what a good documentary. But looking for Disney right here. I like Disney under $100. If Disney dips under $100, it's a clear buy for me, period. Everything else is great about Disney. They got a lot of cash on hand. Their balance sheets are good. They're still able to support their employees. I like this stock. And actually, this is one of the top 10 stocks that millennials bought, according to Robinhood, in the month of March. And I still like Disney long term. So if you guys are interested in looking at this one, how are you going to play this after earnings? I would just wait before earnings, and then I would then look to see if there's going to be a potential dip for a buy. That's how I would play Disney. Right now, Friday it closed, and I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys here. Friday it closed at 105.50. So if you can look at the chart here, I'm going to, and by the way, this is WeTrade HQ. If you guys aren't familiar with WeTrade HQ, this is a company that I built with my partner, Jake. Shout out Jake Amaral. By the way, he also has his own channel. He's actually just started creating trading bots, which, and he's felt the need to share it with everybody, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. His channel's growing like a weed. So go check him out, Jacob Amaral. $91 is potentially where it could come back down to, and that's where I'm looking to potentially buy up on some Disney. Now, obviously, you can make the argument that if it breaks below that, where does it go? And at that point, if it breaks below $90, it's probably going to be in free fall. So if it does break $91.82, that support there, I would say that, yeah, it could potentially come back down to these lows. The absolute low on Disney was $79. And maybe it comes back down to that point, to that low. But if it breaks that low, whew, it's going to be a rough ride for Disney. But so if it starts to look really bad on Disney, what I would do here is that I would wait for some sort of area of consolidation and a momentum, and so we start to see some buying going back on with Disney. So that's how I would be playing Disney going into earnings on Tuesday. Again, it's Tuesday after hours for Disney. Estimated earnings are 83 cents per share. And, yeah, I think they miss. So we'll see if that happens. BYND. It's a stock that I love to hate. And I did not want to talk about Beyond Meat today. I can't stand Beyond Meat. I can't tell you how much I can't stand Beyond Meat. Everybody and their mother loves this stock, and they've loved it ever since they've IPO'd. I made one of my best trades probably of all time shorting BYND when they skyrocketed up over $200, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I still think it's ridiculous where it's at right now. But nevertheless, I can't stop cult stocks, and BYND is probably going to be one of those cult-like stocks. There can be an argument made here that there is a potential shortage of meat going on, so people may be turning towards, fake meat. I am not one of them. I refuse to eat fake meat, period. If you're a vegetarian, that's your prerogative, or vegan, whatever. I mean, that's fine. That's your thing. Cool. For me, I gotta have my meat. I gotta have my steaks and my burgers and all that. So, so like I said, fears of shortages make this interesting for a short-term play. Short-term it could be a good, but I don't like their balance sheets. They have a lot of debts. There's potential that they could be profitable. We'll see. Their estimated earnings are at a loss of 6 cents. They might beat this, actually. They beat their last earnings, even though they were still at a loss. I believe it was negative 4 cents, or a loss of 4 cents on earnings, and I think they beat them and was at a loss of a penny. So there's definitely some room here for them to actually be on the upside here. So they might actually be positive, and I think they probably do beat this quarter. The only reasonable entry I would say here is probably going to be around $85 a share, and I'll go ahead and pull this back up again. Beyond Meat. Jeez. People love this stock. I don't know why. I don't know why. So let's see here. Hold on one sec. I'm in the dark. Yeah, what the heck happened there? Hold on one sec. Hold on one second. Uno momento. That's weird. Let me switch back. Nope. Okay, hold on one second. Give me a moment. I'll fix it. This OBS gets weird sometimes. OBS gets really weird sometimes and does this. And it only does it when I switch back and forth. So let me fix that for a second for you. My bad, folks. My bad. That's sort of better. We'll stick with that. I tell you what, I won't switch my screen. Usually I end up sharing my screen, but I won't do it this time. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't realize that was going on. My bad. My bad, yo. So, as far as BYND is concerned, I just trade the trade is all I'll say. This probably runs into the earnings, and this probably actually does quite well. I think they beat earnings. I don't like this until maybe it gets to about $85 a share, or if it breaks over $105 a share. So I had that marked down there. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry I turned the lights off on you. But anyways, I don't know. OBS, if you guys don't know what OBS is, it's the platform that I use to, share with you guys and all that good stuff. So I don't know what was going on there. So my bad. Okay, so there's BYND. That's my take on that one. Activision has earnings after hours. Their estimated earnings per share are 33 cents. So ticker symbol ATVI is Activision. I think they beat those earnings, and here's why. How many of you out there went and bought yourself an Xbox or a PlayStation and started playing some Call of Duty? Share your hands. Anybody? Guilty. I actually, have been playing a heck of a lot of Call of Duty lately. And Activision, I think they're going to be I think they're going to do really well. Everyone at home, I think they'll be good. Their biggest brand is Call of Duty. As far as I know, I don't think they have a bigger brand than Call of Duty. And so I would say, no, I'm sorry. They also have World of Warcraft. I guess you probably could argue that as well. But, I think Activision does very well. If I look at this, if I'm pulling it up on the chart here, I would probably, here's what I would do with ATVI. And it's probably what I'm going to do. I'll let you guys want to know what happens next Stock Watch Sunday when I was right or wrong. But I like this on a potential dip buy at around $52 a share. We'll see if it comes back down to that point. If it doesn't, then we'll look for this to go probably back up to around $70 a share. And if they beat earnings, if they crush this 33 cents per share, I think they actually go higher than that. So my risk management here is probably to take the position size that I plan on taking on Activision. So in your case, let's just use an arbitrary number like $1,000. I would take $500 of that, maybe buy it before earnings, and then after earnings, maybe use the other half of that position to buy more if they do well, or if there's going to be a dip or what. Actually, if they miss earnings, I probably won't be adding to that. So that's how I would manage that risk if you're going to play over earnings. Obviously, full disclosure, and we talk about this every week, playing earnings there's always a risk involved with that, right? And we talked about that. AMD was probably one of my worst trades. But I think that Activision does really well. And I think, long-term outlook on here, I think they crush it. I think second quarter outlook here is going to be really, really good for Activision. So I like that one. Look for that to make a strong move. And let me check in with you guys. How are we doing? We're about halfway through. We good? So Chuck, we'll talk about MGM. James, what about Peloton? How did you know? We're going to talk about Peloton in a sec. I said World of Warcraft. I don't know. World of Warcraft probably is bigger than Call of Duty. It's probably close. I don't know. I never really got into World of Warcraft, but okay. So Peloton, we'll be talking about the very next stock. So stay tuned, and I'll get right through this one, which is PayPal. PayPal, after hours on Wednesday, estimated earnings per share, 57 cents is their estimated earnings per share. I think they actually beat that. Best way to transfer money right now is electronically, is it not? Last month, they stated they're not expected to lay off anyone, period. I think the PPP will help with that. I think that they're going to be a recipient of that. So we'll see how much money they're actually receiving and how much that's actually going to impact the company. And I would probably treat this the same way. I would probably end up the same way as Activision. Sorry, my throat's drying out here. I need to just prepare myself and just drink bottles of water through the stream. I used to not think that was a cool thing to do, but I don't even care anymore. Just doing it. This came all the way down to $82 a share during the crash and has bounced all the way back up near its highs. Now, I think the reason that this is happening is for the reasons that I just spoke about. If they're not laying off any of their employees, that tells me that they're actually doing quite well. And I think that more people are buying things online, so more people are using PayPal or any other electronic. There's another company, Square, actually has earnings. I'm not talking about that one today, but I think they probably actually end up doing pretty well too. So I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with PayPal. So, I think PayPal does really well. So coming into earnings, like I said, I think they beat. If we're looking at this, 124.45 is the high for PayPal right now. It went up close to that this past week at 124.11. Expect a pullback just because of the reaction that it'll have with the rest of the market. But going into earnings, I would have some. I would have some PayPal going into earnings on here, and then maybe potentially adding to it depending on how the earnings shake out. Okay. Lastly, who was my man here? Was it James? Was it James on Peloton? It was James. They do have earnings. They have earnings on Wednesday as well. After hours, their estimated earnings per share is at a loss of 18 cents. And I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think Peloton even comes close to that. I think Peloton even has the potential to getting really close to being profitable this quarter. Wouldn't that be something? They beat earnings 2 quarters ago. No, that's a lie. Sorry. They did not beat, they beat earnings last quarter. 32 was estimated. They beat earnings at a loss of 20 cents. Their estimated earnings is 18. I think they beat that. I think they beat that handily. Here's why. Increasingly improving profit margins, like I said, since their IPO. And right now, who's going to the gym? Anybody? Nobody. Nobody's going to the gym. Everybody's working out at home. Even professional athletes. You see them, I just watched, I'm a Ravens fan. Just watched Calais Campbell. He said he was doing stairs. He's got like 30. He lives on like the 37th floor or something crazy like that. And he's just going up flights of stairs to stay in shape. So even professional athletes aren't going to gym. So, I think if there's some silver linings here as far as companies that are doing well through the Rona, I would say Peloton is. They crushed records in April for the most live streamed workout event ever. And so I think that Peloton actually does well. I'm looking for Peloton to probably look for an entry around $30. If this dips below $30 before earnings, I would probably have some in my portfolio. And again, understand the risk going through all these earnings plays, but I really like this one. I think it does really well. And, we'll see what comes out on the other side of this one. But, like I said, we'll see. 175 tuning in live. That's awesome. Hell yeah. You guys are fantastic. I bet you I'm over 15K now. I gotta be, right? Gotta be over 15K. That'll be sweet. You guys, I love you guys. You guys are really awesome. You really are. That's awesome. Hope we're getting some likes in there too. If you guys are getting value out of this video, certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. And before I get into the calls, I just want to invite you guys over for a couple of things. So, I have a watch list that I put out every single day for all of my channel members, which I call the Chaos Crew. So if you guys are watching me right now on your computer, on your phone, click that join button if you want to get a watch list from me every single day of the week, of the trading week, I should say. And I also do like a little personalized video for you folks who are on the tier 2 as well. So if you want to check that out, I actually just started doing that this week. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do that by clicking join. And you get my watch list from me every single day before the market opens, so you can get prepared before that opening bell. Be happy to have you over there at the Chaos Crew. You can ask me questions and stuff like that there too, so I'd be happy to answer those. And then finally, you can see some people that are chatting in here. There's some folks in here, and they're chatty Cathys. I see you, Blade Runner. Hope. Beam me up. Josh, what's going on, man? A lot of these people are in my mentorship, where I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time every single day of the trading week, and then I'm with them in a private Discord group as well. It is not a copy all of my trades and do what I say. It is a great community of traders, not just myself, where we can get together, share ideas, and celebrate each other's success. I help people learn my strategies, and there's also other strategies of veteran traders in there as well that we can learn and grow from. And it's just become an excellent community. We've been doing some happy hour live streams as well, just to get to know each other. People, you guys, they've been seeing me with my Jack and Cokes and stuff like that after hours, and it's been really fun. So if you guys want to check that out, the links are down in the description, and I'm providing a free 30 days for that too. So if you want to go check that out for a free 30 days, enter the code STOCKS. And if my WeTrade HQ admin can put the promo code in there, I'd certainly appreciate it. But go click the link down in the description below for the mentorship and hit the word STOCKS for your free 30 days. Love to have you in there. It's the family's growing there. It's pretty awesome. So callers, 443-281-3763 is the number. 443. I put the number in here. I don't know why I don't have this memorized by now. I mean, how many weeks I've been doing this now? 443-281-3763. And somebody had to ruin it for everybody. And called 3 times in a row to ask the same 3 questions. So let's not do that, okay? Let's keep it to one call, and you can ask me 1 or 2 questions, and I'd be happy to answer those. I love having people call in. So, but just don't take advantage of it, people. Yeah, thanks, Blade Runner. Appreciate it. 443-281-3863. 3763. Why the heck did I put 3763? Daggone it. I'm not. I don't have it together. 443-281-3763. If you call and some random person picks up, that's my bad. Oh, man. I'll put it back in. 443-281-3763. There you go. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. All right, so let's answer some questions in the chat while we're waiting on some calls. Let's see here. Blade Runner ordered him a new power rack. That's awesome. That's how he's staying in shape. I need to get in shape too, man. What do I think of? Here we go. This is a really good question. What do I think of GPMT for a longer hold? It's attractive since it's so cheap. Once you buy around $3, hold till it gets back to $9 or $12. Your thoughts on risk? I'd like time to get back to $9 or $12. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to pull that up here. Yeah, I'm not going to share my screen, guys. I'm going to just be extra cautious about that. I don't know what's going on with my OBS, but I can pull this up here while I'm chatting with you guys. GPMT. Let's see. GPMT. I know I have a caller here, so just bear with me. I will get to you in just a second. So we had somebody calling in. Let me go over GPMT real quick. So Granite Point Mortgage Trust. So this is another REITs type stock. And here's my thing with REITs. And I don't know where GPMT is, so I would definitely make sure that you're looking into this one. Who was it again? I'm sorry. Thomas Baker. So if you're looking at REITs, any REIT stocks, the one thing that I would say is that have they been able to take care of the notes that were called for them? So we've seen a lot of these real estate investment trust stocks not being able to make the calls on their loans. So if this is a problem for GPMT, it might be a problem down the road. Just because the stock is low doesn't necessarily mean it can't go lower. So just keep that in mind. And so if you're looking to invest in anything real estate investment trust, go to the balance sheet and have they been able to answer the call on their notes. There have been a very select few that have. And so I would just be cautious with this one, especially moving forward, and especially if people are having trouble paying their mortgages, because we're not out of the woods yet as far as the Rona is concerned, and people are still locked in their houses, and we still have 30 million people on unemployment. So I would just be very careful about that. I know that you're looking at this long term, so I don't know what your time horizon necessarily is. Those are just the steps that I would go to try to see if I can find value in something like this, because I think the ones that do have a good balance sheet, they have cash on hand, and they were able to pay off their notes when called, those are the ones that are going to come out of this relatively well. The ones that can't, they might go by the wayside. So that would be my thoughts on that. Okay, let's get to our caller here. Hi, welcome to Stock Watch Sunday. Who's this?
Hi, this is me. It's Colton.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Colton.
Oh, Colton. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Or hear from you.
Hey.
What you got?
I had, I was wondering about AMD long term. Where would you buy it at?
That is a great question. And man, you just like digging the knife, bro. Digging the knife.
Oh,
No, in all seriousness, I still like AMD for a long play. I still do have it in my long-term portfolio. As far as where to buy it from, I would say look for this to potentially come down to like $47, $46 area and see if we can start to see some buying after it gets to that level. Otherwise, if it continues to come down, I wouldn't be shocked if it actually came down to maybe around 43, closer to that $40 range. But look first at that $46, $47 area for potential support and then a move back up. If it can't do that for whatever reason, then it may come down lower to about $43, $42, somewhere around there. But man, for the life of me, I gotta love the stock. They have a good balance sheet. They got really good things going on, especially with some of the chips that they have coming out. And I just think that it's a really good stock with a really good company, and the CEO is fantastic. So, that's one I would go with. And so thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right, we got another caller here. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is George. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Love your show, man.
Thanks, appreciate it. What can I do for you?
So I know you're probably sick and tired of hearing about the airlines. I have a lot of money in United, and I'm very nervous.
Yeah, well, you know what? I would say that you have every reason to be nervous. And to be honest with you, out of all the airlines, especially out of the big four, the one that I have the most nerves about, the one that I'm most uneasy about, is actually United Airlines. And they had an offering on top of taking money from the government. They also put an offering out, and I would say that it might be tough sledding for United. But the promising thing is, I don't know what your time horizons are or how long you're planning on holding the stock.
Well, I bought it at 28, so I don't know how low it will go tomorrow.
So tomorrow it's going to be tough sledding. So how long were you planning on holding United? I guess is the big question.
Not that long.
Okay. So, well, if
maybe month, 2 months.
Okay. So if your time horizon is that short, I would say that, you're going to be in for a bumpy ride, turbulent weather ahead. But we don't know what will happen a month from now, but I don't think that people are going to be rushing to get on airplanes in a month. So I would say that, we'll have to see what happens, but I don't expect United or really any of the airlines to like have any kind of crazy spike up within the next month, especially now that we have the Warren Buffett news. And whether I believe in what Warren Buffett does or not, the fact of the matter is that most people will most likely sell because he did. And that's just a fact. So I would say that it's probably going to be in for a bumpy ride, but, I wish I had better news, but that's kind of going to be my opinion on that. So
okay.
I appreciate the call.
Thank
though,
you.
man. Thanks for the support and the love. And talk to you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So some good calls in here tonight. It's tough stuff. The airlines, they're not going to probably do well in the short term. But like I said, if we're looking at this long term, I think that they'll end up coming out of this just fine. It just depends on how long you're willing to be patient. So I do appreciate the call. It's tough stuff, but it is what it is. Let's see here. All right. So for James Darkin, can't tell. I can't call in as I'm in the UK. That's all right. But would like to recommend holding on to Zoom or selling. I still really like Zoom, and here's why. And I don't know if I've talked about this on Stockwatch Sunday or not, but I'm still holding Zoom. I got in Zoom in the low 100s though, so I'm still profitable on this one. I know that there's a lot of people that bought this in the close to $180, which is crazy to me. It blew up. What, $60 in 2 trading days, and I was like, this is too fast, too quick. I said it was going to get to $200 by the end of the year. I wasn't expecting to get close to $200 by the end of the week when I talked about it first about getting it to that number. But I still like Zoom, and here's why. You have competitors coming in like Microsoft Teams, which from what from what people tell me is a terrible platform. My personal opinion about Microsoft Teams is that it's not really anywhere close, cannot hold a candle to Zoom. You have Facebook that also came out with their video conferencing, feature on Facebook. It's up to 50 people for free, which right now Zoom's offering it to everybody for free as well. So there's really nothing there. My argument to this is that Zoom is king at this point in time. When it comes to the video conferencing, Zoom has it. Okay. From a professional standpoint, from like a business side of things, and as well as families and communities that are using this now as well, I say that just because people are going to go back to work, that Zoom is not going to be, doesn't devalue it. I think because it's gotten so much exposure at this point that people are just going to start to continue to use it, especially if you're a business and you're teleconferencing and they're just starting to get used to it or what have you. Since their IPO, they have just been outstanding. And I still think that they're going to do that. And like I said, my argument to this is going to be, if you compare it to Netflix, everybody and their mother thought that Netflix was just going to get crushed. And I had anticipations on, thought maybe this could be possible as well when other streaming services started to get into Netflix's market, right? You had Apple TV and Disney Plus and Roku and Hulu and all these other ones, yet Netflix is still the king. And I think that we'll see this, competitors move into the market as far as teleconferencing is concerned, but I still think Zoom comes out on top, and I still think that they're a company to be valued. And I think they still do very well. So in my opinion, I think Zoom's still definitely one to hang on to if you're looking for a long-term investment. I like it a lot. Zoom's going to get ravaged by hackers. I mean, everything gets ravaged by hackers. So Chuck, earning coming for MGM. MGM already had earnings. Actually, they missed them. No surprise there. We already said that they were going to miss them, and they did. It's MGM, the other entertainment type stocks. I see you have Eldorado. I think it's Eldorado you have there. They're slow to open, but they've held up fairly good. I still like MGM. I think it has the best balance sheet out of all the entertainment stocks. And I have MGM. I think they do well. It's been, doing extremely well over the last week before the downturn after earnings. I think they probably come back down to that $14, $15 range, but that's a good buy zone. Anything, if it doesn't like being below $14, it's come back down to there and briefly came down to $12 a share. But I think that as things start to open back up, that these companies will do well. We've already talked about, if you saw a previous video of mine when I talked about one of my top 3 underrated stocks, it was MGM. Their balance sheets are great. They have cash on hand. They've had a lot of insider buying, and not to be confused with insider trading, because that's illegal, but insider buying, their own officers have been buying up millions of shares of MGM, and I think that it's for a reason, because they understand the value that they have in their stock, and they know things are going to turn around, and people are going to go back and take advantage of their services once everybody's allowed back out. So I like MGM for a longer term type of play. If you're planning on holding something like that for the next 6 months to a year, I think that that'll end up paying off for you. So I do like MGM. Jordan, thanks for the donation, pal. I really appreciate it. Ticker symbol CCO. They do outdoor advertising, billboards, signs that look like signs. I think people are going to start driving again. I'm in at 58 cents. Here's my opinion on anything billboard related. It's advertising that doesn't really, it works. I don't know. I don't know anything about their balance sheet or anything like that, Jordan. But in my opinion, on just in the advertising industry right now, it's all digital. It's everything digital, especially right now, right? And even if people start to get back to driving, the outdoor advertising market, I don't think is just going to do well as a whole. And I would say the same thing for, radio advertising. That's just not as effective anymore as digital advertising is. And so even if people are allowed back out, I don't think that they're going to just light the world on fire all of a sudden. So could there be some potential there? Perhaps, but I don't think that they do much. Just my thoughts on that. Cruise stocks are a no-go right now. I would agree with that. And we've talked about that as well. CCL is in a lot of trouble. And we've talked about there's $6 billion in convertible debt. If you guys don't understand what convertible debt is, look it up. There's going to be a lot of share dumping into Carnival Cruise Lines. Can't say I didn't warn you. That's awesome, David. Good to see. All right. So nobody wanted to, I'll give you so we're going to wrap this up in a second. But now that I've reached over 15,000, nobody ended up sharing a video. of mine, any old videos that they wanted to see or anything like that. But this has been an awesome ride, guys. 15,000 subscribers. I can't thank you enough. What I would say is I just have one specific memory of mine that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. But I was actually doing a live stream, and I say folks a lot. Okay. So I was doing a live stream one day, and I accidentally said that, I was inviting people over to WeTradeHQ.com, and I said, we have a lot of our folks over there. Well, it did come out folks, and I was doing a live stream, and I just blurted out the F-bomb. Like and everybody lost it. I lost it. Oh, actually, I held it together a little bit, but I was dying laughing for like the next 3-4 weeks. It was hilarious. It was too funny. So that was one of my favorite moments so far up in the last 15,000 subs. And so guys, I can't thank you enough. We have over 200 people here in the live stream, which is an absolute record. I mean, it completely crushed the record. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are fantastic. I don't even know what to say. This is something that I never expected could happen to me. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And so again, if you guys want to be a part of our WeTrade HQ community, first of all, like I said, click the join button if you want to get my watch list for me. It's $4.99 a month. I think it's a pretty incredible value for a small amount of money. And then also, if you want to come over and take advantage of the free 30 days of the mentorship, be happy to have you over there. Click the links down in the description and enter the word stocks at checkout. You get your free 30 days. Be happy to have you guys over there. And that's going to do it for me, guys. I got something special for you.
Okay, see you later, Pat.
Live long and prosper.
I quit this
bitch. See you guys. Have a good one. I'll see y'all before the bell.